Saturday, March 14th, 2026. The time is 10:32 a.m. And I was intending to do this live a few days ago. And when I saw it on another dude's page. And I was like, interesting. Well, first I saw the thumbnail on Angela Yee's uh, YouTube page, and I was like, interesting. So I went to search and see was it actual true, or was it just somebody putting something out there, and it was true. But I titled this one Lennox admits what most females or most ladies would never. And you know how I do. I'm gonna play her audio. I'm gonna play her audio of her admission. And I honestly give her kudos for this. I honestly give her kudos for acknowledging this within herself, right? And after I play this, I get back to the breakdown.
I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, it's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't. Yeah. And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's your sign?
And I think, and I should let me run it back one more time for the people that came in and didn't hear it. This is Lennox.
Toxic energies. I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, it's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't. Yeah. And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's your sign?
And I swear she said she was an Aries. And my personal opinion of Aries, I think Aries are the most, just my personal opinion. My personal opinion from my personal experiences. I think Aries are the most mentally unstable out of all of the zodiacs. There's a lot of instability in a lot of the zodiacs, but I think that they are the most mentally unstable, because I think that they have this shoot first, ask question later mentality, right? And she really said the quiet part out loud. Like my thumbnail says, she said the quiet part out loud. Because the thing that I liked about what she said, I'm attracted to the energy. energy. She's attracted to the dysfunctional energy. And for me, that helps me cut to the chase because when you're trying to talk to these ladies, and number one, the hardest thing is to get a lot of these ladies to, yo, all is well. How you doing, my G? A lot of time when you're talking to these ladies, they don't want to admit a flaw within themselves, right? Great vibrations. Appreciate you. They don't want to. They don't want to admit flaws within themselves, so they're always going to defer. They're always going to blame somebody else. They're always going to say, "Well, I didn't see that in the beginning. He started out perfect. I didn't. He wasn't always like that. But meanwhile, he was always like that. You saw certain things. You saw what you wanted to see, but it was the energy that had you captivated, right?" And like I said, I think this is big of Ari Lennox. I think that she says she admits that she still has some growing to do. And we also have to leave room for growth and development for our people because sometimes we are so hard on our people. We are harder on our people than we are on the oppressor, right? We are way times harder on our people than we are the oppressor. But I think what she said was just because notice this is what always is. In this society, in the dating game, it plays word association, right? And anybody that listens to my content, anybody that listens to my lives, anybody that see my content, you know I do a lot of connecting TV shows, movies, music as to how we think, right? So when we saying things like, "Oh, music don't can't do nothing to you," "Oh, music don't have this or that," you have a choice. You cannot let that person watch that. You cannot true and untrue. But if music doesn't have a effect on you, how can we do? How can why do we teach children in nursery rhymes? Why do we teach children in nursery rhymes? Why do we teach children things like the wheels on the bus? Why do we teach them in songs and rhythms? Because we want them to get it. We use songs, rhythms, and patterns for them to get them to remember things, right? So, with me saying this, why am I saying that? A lot of times, and you probably can still see it in movies now, in today movies, old TV shows, current TV shows. Whenever they're talking about somebody that's kind, and they're like, "Oh," and this could be he or she, but they're like, let's say they'll say, "Oh, he's kind, he's honest, he this," and they'll say, "What's wrong with him? How ugly is he?" Because when society has impressed upon your mind that something has to be wrong, you have to be undesirable if you're a good person or you have all of these genuine qualities, right? Even like they used to have a commercial on TV, and it was a credit score commercial. Now dig how they do this. It was a credit score commercial, and in this credit score commercial, the low credit score was a fat, bald head, out of shape white boy. The good credit score was more somebody that looked like a desired image. This is how they play with your mind and get you to see what's good, what's desirable, what's not, right? And a lot of times you hear the word boring, and they say, "Well, he was just boring," i.e., he wasn't dysfunctional. He wasn't dysfunctional. He didn't have to keep her on her toes. He was certain. He assured her that he liked her. He assured her that she possibly might have been the only one that he likes, the only one. And a lot of times with a lot of traumatized and underdeveloped people, they don't like that. Because I'll see underdeveloped females and they'll say, "I don't want no dude that can't pull no hose. I don't want no dude that's just all about me." And then because America turns you into the ultimate bipolar person or the ultimate schizo. But then at the other side of your neck or other side of your mouth, you'll say, I want somebody that's obsessed with me, somebody that's all about me. And what it is, you want, a lot of times, in my opinion, women drum up this image of the perfect guy in their mind, right? They drum up their type. And this is why I think the loneliness epidemic is so high. It's not just the male loneliness epidemic. It's not just a female loneliness epidemic. It's a people loneliness epidemic because people they're waiting for something that don't exist. A lot of times ladies are waiting for something that doesn't exist. They want him to be, and that doesn't mean you can't have your type or you can't have your preference, ladies. But sometimes you ever think, when we say think outside the box, think outside your preference. I'm not saying you're not allowed, because anytime I noticed when I would have these conversations, it would be like this pushback or this venom, or feel like I'm trying to force them to take something that they don't desire. No, if you don't like something, you don't have to take it. But you have your mind and your heart set on, my guy looks like X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times with dudes that are considered players, whatever that is, real niggas, whatever that is, however, this exciting energy, a lot of times they're not faithful. A lot of times they're not faithful. They're not dependable. They might be a go-getter. They might have good moments. But because a lot of women, like I remember saying in one of my shorts, a lot of women don't understand what a man is either. So they are also, just like, in my opinion, just like we as young men, we're looking for examples in the street. We're looking for examples around for those of us that grew up without fathers in the home. We're looking for external examples of masculinity. And I would say the same thing for ladies. They're looking for external examples of masculinity. This is why I always say aggression is not masculinity. And I would tell, like, the ladies that I'm close to, like, I get what you're trying to say, but they would be like, oh man, you trying to get me, you trying to get my head beat in by my dude. Or you trying to make my dude knock my teeth out. That's not love. That's not protection. And funny thing, what Ari Lennox said in her video, she said she couldn't recognize the security within the quote unquote good guys, because they're programmed to not be attracted to that energy. This is the whole thing of, just look at things like, why do good girls like bad boys? Now let's just play on that word right there, bad boy. Not only is this like I don't want to say adolescence, but an underdeveloped man, but he's bad, right? It's just like the saying, and we say these sayings and don't even think about it. When a woman say, spoil me, I'm spoiled. Riddle me this. If something is spoiled, is it any good? If you have spoiled milk in your refrigerator, yeah, I say refrigerator. If you have spoiled milk in your refrigerator, is it any good? Is it any useful? Is it useful? If you have spoiled food or spoiled meat in your refrigerator, is it useful? And we get so fixated on words, like you'll have people that say, don't call yourself black. You know, black is a dead thing. Black is don't call yourself black. And we run around and use words. We say, I'm spoiled. Spoil me. I like bad boys. And you wonder why the behavior begets what you say. You like bad boys. So now you say, he's so immature and he's so obnoxious and he treats me this way. But that's been a learning pattern for years, for years, for years. Because a lot of times the dude might seem more exciting because he might be more of a risk taker. Because he that go-getter and he's gonna take chances that the safe or the responsible or the quote-unquote good guy probably won't. So to balance them scales, I could understand on some type of level of what they're saying. But this is a long-term thing. And then she says, oh, I saw them ending up married. Yo. She said, I saw them ending up married, and I'm like, that could have been me. And what's funny now, and I came across this video. Let me see if I can find it. What's funny now, what's funny is the whole Russell Westbrook Sierra thing. Any other time, Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson would be looked at as the boring guy, right? But because of the way he loves on Sierra and the way other dudes hate on him just for no reason. Now, I'll see delusional women on social media say, I'm looking for me a Russell Wilson. I'm looking for me a Russell Wilson. And a lot of times they got a Russell Wilson in their inbox. He just might not have the millions that Russell Wilson has. But this young lady said something right here that was so profound. I was like, yo, she really gave hope. And every time I say hope, it makes me think about Dick Gregory. He's ain't no motherfucking hope. I don't want to hear nothing about no motherfucking hope. Nigga, hope you pay your goddamn light bill. But she's a symbol of hope and understanding. I'm gonna play her.
Share your thoughts with me about this clip.
My dying wish is that men understood how important their character is. You're out here chasing the bag. Yes.
She said how important the character is. Continue.
You need to take care of yourself and be financially responsible. However, we women do not want to date a man who's evil and has money. We do not want to date a man who raises his voice and has anger problems, but he has money. We do not want to date a man who does not believe in chivalry and treats us like the scum of the earth, but he has money. There are certain traits that are a staple of a good man, and those traits are priceless. And women are dying to be with a man that they can say has good character. A man who, when we have children, we want our children to emulate. A man who is just a rock. Like, it doesn't matter. Money comes and goes. We understand that. We know that.
She gets it. From her level of femininity, she gets it.
And you're here upset at the economy and upset about how hard things are and how, oh, I need to make money. And go to therapy. Go to therapy. Talk to someone about your traumas and your problems. That is what we really want. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to build a home together, if we're going to create a community, if we're going to raise a family, I need to know that even if we hit rock bottom, you're still going to treat me amazingly. You're still going to love yourself. You're still going to be patient and kind. The true definition of love. Okay? These are the traits that we desire. Money is great. Not gonna lie. You need it to survive. You need financial security. But we also want emotional security and safety and true everlasting love. Please put this in your skull. Kindness goes so freaking far.
Share your thoughts.
But then that sounds like the good guy, right? Like, to listen at the things she thinks. Now, the only pushback I will give her, I don't think the collective of women want that. Because, ladies, you cannot listen to somebody as disgusting as Shira 7. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And she say the opposite of this. She say character ain't gonna pay no bills. Being a good man not gonna pay no bills. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told him, I said, bro, who knew Scrubs and Bills by Destiny Child would be the precursor. Well, Scrubs wasn't by Destiny Child, but Bills was gonna be the precursor to the to where we are now. Because everything there is no such thing as love. There are financial transactions. It's really prostitution. It's glorified prostitution. Right? So there isn't like real love. There isn't. We're in a microwave society. So because we live in a microwave society, because we live in a society and social media, in my opinion, that breeds envy. If one woman wants a dude to, and she's bragging about a man paying all her bills, this is how the programming, in my opinion, happens. It begins to spread. So it no longer comes about becomes about how that man character works. Like she said, we don't want you to have money, but you treat me effed up. He's verbally abusive. I remember talking to an associate years ago, and she said, and this is how it's passed generationally. She said that a family member of her told her, and it was a lady, by the way. She told her that there are either going to be two types of men. Either, now listen to the options. Either he's going to treat you like shit and pay your bills, or he's going to be good to you and be broke. And this is what I mean when I say you teach people through trauma. You teach people through your limited experience on a lot of things. That doesn't mean don't share your insight, because that's what I'm doing. But when you pass along dysfunctional, toxic things like that as factual, and then you pass it to another generation that's going to pass it to another generation, this is social learning theory. That's going to pass it to another generation. Next thing you know, you got 3 generations with this ideology that you're only going to get, either he's going to be kind and broke and can't do nothing for you, or he's going to be abusive, he's going to cheat on you, he's going to do all of these things that you really don't want, but he's going to pay your bills. And my question would be, is that a form of selling your soul? Is that a form of selling your soul when you will align yourself with whatever just to have your bills paid? Like, I get it. I pay my bills every month. Every month, these like they said, that song said, this train gonna keep on rolling. No, these damn bills gonna keep on rolling. So those bills are gonna keep coming. But is it a form of selling your soul, ladies, to get with a guy that you really don't align with these things, but for the sake of having your bills paid and to create this soft life, you will not only subject yourself, but if you have children, you will subject your children to this abusive behavior. But he got money. He got money. Hey, right? So, ladies, is that a form of selling your soul? To get with a man that treats you like goddamn, let's say, treats you damn near like the devil. He's damn near the devil or the oppressor of you. But he pays your bills. We have collectively been conditioned to think that paying bills and having somebody to provide. I got so tired of that word in 2025. I got so tired of the word provide. I want a provider. He got to be a provider. And not because I don't want to give provision, but that was just the basic thing. There was nothing else talked about. They wasn't talking like that sister right there that was saying character. And I think, in my opinion, I think probably 10% of women desire what she was talking about, a man with good character. Because it's optional. It's either going to be the aesthetic, it's either going to be the finance, it's going to be some external thing that doesn't have much value. That same associate that said what her family member told me also said, now this is when I say ladies pick off of their emotions. She said, I want somebody that we look good in pictures together. So when she says she wants somebody that looks good in pictures together, that's for outside validation. She wants that so the outsiders approval. And a lot of times I think that's what dating has been reduced to. It has been reduced to how we gonna look on social media. How we gonna look when we taking vacation? Is he fine? And Ari Lennox said it ain't he wasn't even on that. They didn't even look all of that. But she kept saying, I'm attracted to the energy. And that's all this society is. It's energy. Negative, positive, high, low. And you find people that like now I say all the time, I'm attracted to frequencies. Like I see so many sisters with beautiful shells. God, I think I know. I'm not gonna say I think. I know that we have the most beautiful women created ever. Black women are the most beautiful women ever. Not even close. But what I had to learn in my growing is the same thing that I'm asking for people to look beyond my physical, look beyond my exterior. I had to learn to do the same thing. Because again, I'm looking with my ego. I'm looking so I can have outside approval. Like, damn, bro, where you get this fine woman? Because all that squat is ego. That's hubris. That's just a whole bunch of pride. But when I began to like really learn myself, I began to learn the type of woman that I needed in my space. I needed a woman, or I desire a woman that can hold a conversation, that has a sense of humor, that knows how to handle me and talk to me without handling and talking to me in a jacked up way. That makes sense what I'm saying? And so when Ari Lennox makes this admission, she's not saying nothing we didn't know. And for the dudes that's listening and you making and y'all making y'all negative content, man, y'all gotta heal. Like everybody feel pain. I think that this is what we have to understand. And before I land my plane, we have to understand that everybody go through stuff. Everybody go through stuff. What bothers me is when we making it seem like one side is doing something more than others. Men are oppressing women more than they're doing something. It might be looking like that in one fashion, but ladies dog men out just as much. They hurt decent men just as much as dudes destroy decent women. It's all a bullshit game on both sides. It's like still trying to argue Democrat or Republican. It's all a bullshit game. Right? But in order to really, in my opinion, and I'm learning this and I'm so trying to manifest this, I'm still learning how to love myself. I think also in that hubris or pride, social media makes you feel like you gotta always be wearing your Sunday's best. So we got a bunch of pretenders out here that's always pretending like they always good. Always got their game face on. No, authenticity wins. What you gonna get? You always gonna get authentic me. You're not gonna get every day is a good day. I got cerebral palsy. So in having cerebral palsy and in having a disability, the world treats you shitty. That's just facts. And you have to learn to be mentally tough. That's why I don't like a LeBron James, because he's extremely big, but he's mentally weak. That's why Kobe Bryant will always be the greatest player that I ever witnessed play basketball, because of his level of mental toughness. And you have to be mentally tough. You have to be mentally aware, because the way this society is conditioned, it is designed to break you. And they do it through many things, but one is desirable versus undesirable. Desirables versus undesirable. I told you it's like that credit score commercial. Well, the low credit score was the ugly guy, and the nice credit score was the nice looking guy. That's how they impress images upon your head, in your mind, desirable or not. Everything that's lower is ugly. It's not attractive. And that's because we're so stuck in our humanity, and we're so stuck in ourselves, and we can't see beyond, because we always worry about some goddamn bills. So I just wanted to share a couple of things, and I honestly shout out to Ari Lennox for that admission, and I hope that she continues to grow. I hope that she continues to develop. I hope that she continues to find herself, and I hope that she continues to I hope she finds, that decent person. Because we give each other grace. Give each other grace until you see a person not trying. That don't, like, example, before I land the plane, give her grace because she admits that she is tripping. But don't keep giving a person like 50 Cent grace, who prides himself on shitting on his people and destroying his people and his people only. Everybody doesn't deserve grace. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for today. I thank everybody that came in and listened and tapped the screen and liked. Let me know in my comments what you think. Peace.